Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Well, so we're with our family, Leelamoy Prabhu, Rupanuga Prabhu, Lin, greeting. Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Where are you? In the Dham? Back in Australia? Yes, okay, yes. Wonderful. You're home safely. All right. Yeah. Jai Dev Prabhu, Sevarupa Devi Dasi, Radha Sundari Devi Dasi, and Leela Shakti Didi. So wonderful. So Leela Shakti, you're back home safe and sound. So everybody, I think, has been with us by heart here in Thailand. I'm left behind, I'm still here. But other devotees, they are actually, Paramananda, they're meant to be leaving half an hour ago. So I was here to see them off, but I will run along when I hear the car, because I want to give my obeisances. They're going to Bangkok, he's going to Japan, and we are being left behind here. So first of all, excuse me if I leave suddenly, but I'll come back. I just for a moment. Okay, it's a motorcycle going up the hill. I've got my ears open for our dear devotees who are going. And Radha Sundari Didi in Mayapur. Welcome. So first of all, let us do what we do when we come together as devotees. Give our obeisances. So to you all and to each other. Bancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And we can say Vandeham, which covers everything. Then we can say Om Agyan to Guru, then Namo Maha to Mahaprabhu. So Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Padakamalang, Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam, Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam, Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Govinda Govinda Gopala Gopala. And I'm looking to see so we're only on Zoom today. I do have my Facebook on, but I see we're maybe not able to broadcast on Facebook at the same time. I don't know. Praneshwari Didi now is 7:30 a.m. in India, and she sent me from the last report was from Vrindavan, from our temple in Vrindavan. So I'm not sure where she is today. So dear devotees, in Brazil, it is, and in America or west coast of America, it is still Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. And I'm sure you've been all remembering Srila Prabhupada. And yesterday, many of you, if not all of you, were watching or have seen the recorded version of the program in the Gupta Govardhan temple in Thailand. And after that, we had we had a feast. Okay, sorry about that. Something we'd love to share with you. But we had a feast after that. And by the way, later in the day, back here at the Govinda farm, none of us wanted any evening prasadam, so not even soup. We thought, okay, let us try to survive with our prasadam. Some devotees, or some, I hear sounds. Sorry, I've got my attention because devotees are going to go in a moment. So anyway, we had a wonderful feast yesterday from the crew, the kitchen crew there. And then we did various things. We were with the devotees all afternoon. And then in the evening, we did our mini program in order to make room for watching Srila Prabhupada. And so yesterday evening, we watched Srila Prabhupada. And we actually watched in 2 films. I do not know what you call them, but they're on YouTube. And one of them is Srila Prabhupada in Melbourne, Australia. And another was an interview, a short 4 or 5 minute interview with Srila Prabhupada by a interviewer who really hadn't got a clue what he was talking about. But Srila Prabhupada was very tolerant and patient and answered like appropriately for, you know, completely innocent person who doesn't know anything. And I felt, oh, Srila Prabhupada, how tolerant he was with the kind of questions that were put to him. And the man not really listening to the answer. He's got some sheet that he's kind of written, oh, I'll ask this Swāmī some questions, this Indian Swāmī some questions. But it was actually very sweet. And Śrīla, who is here from Salt Lake City, otherwise known as Sweet Lake City, in remembrance of Manindra Mohan Prabhu. So Śrīla Devi, she actually said, after watching that short interview with Srila Prabhupada, she said, actually, Srila Prabhupada answered much more than his words by his proper behavior with that interviewer, like by his interaction with him, with that interviewer. He answered much more than just transcribing words of what he said. And it is true, because the interviewer was quite a tall man. And some of you may, I've seen it before, but quite a while ago. But the classic 1970s with like lots of hair and lots thick sideburns to here. You may have seen that interview, I don't know. And he's quite a big man. And you know, Srila Prabhupada, we tend to see him as great. I mean, we do see him as great, but we tend to think of him as taller than he actually was, you know, physically, in the physical sense, taller than he was. And so, you know, there's this big man in the Srila Prabhupada, and he's being interviewed. But he was so like presentable with the way with the answer, no doubt, but with the way he answered to him. And so anybody seeing Srila Prabhupada, they must think, yes, oh, this is a saintly person. This is a gentleman in response to some quite sort of naive questions, if you like. And just now welcoming Divya Shakti also. Divya Shakti, welcome home, Divya. She's also done the long haul flight to the other side of the world, as our Brazilians have done, as our Australian has done. But there were 6 Australians here. There were more. There are more either in the sky or on their way home. We had 6 Australians for our gathering. Anyway, Divya Shakti Didi, welcome home.
Thank you, Maharaj. I'm really not available. I'm kind of jet lagging.
What is jet lag? I'm going to quote Gurudev here. Jet lag. What jet lag? What is jet lag?
I don't know. Anyway, I'm kind of off schedule. So
okay, Divya, don't worry. We're not going to put you on the spot. And Divya got home after no sleep and like whatever it was, 30 hours or something of traveling. And then they made her cook, made her cook, means they asked her to cook and basically nobody else was available. And so Dibya being Dibya, she said yes. So this is our Dibya Shakti. Even when really not practical to do some service, still she's following the principle of just smile and say yes. So well done, Dibya.
Anyway, I
We'll-
was very grateful to be with you and have your association, Madhusudan Maharaj, and all the devotees there. Was really quite amazing, and in Italy and in Thailand, and really happy that I got to go and be with all the beautiful devotees and meet new devotees from Ukraine, and deepen my relationship with the Russians there in Thailand. So beautiful. Everyone has such a wonderful service attitude, and they're very humble and non-assertive, and just very sweet association. So I hope I get the opportunity again to be with you and the devotees, and Avadut Maharaj watching his parikram in Sri Vrindavan is just inspiring and amazing. If anybody else is watching Avadut Maharaj, it's just like, how can you help but hanker to be there and to try to do some service there at this time. So they're so fortunate. So anyway, I don't have much to say. I'm just trying to engage my mind somehow in service and appreciate the devotees around the world and you and Swāmī. So it's my humble respects and obeisances at your feet, and I hope I can be able to say something a little bit more substantial maybe later, but I really appreciate you, and just very, very grateful meeting all these sweet, dedicated, devotional Vaishnavas in our mission. Don't know what else.
So Dibya Shakti Didi, you have some savor to do now. That is, get some good rest.
Yeah, please forgive me. I must be talking in circles.
No, you're not. You're talking very sensibly, but it does sound, I mean, we can tell from your voice. You please get some rest. And I know you've done a marathon, a non-stop marathon, returning and then going straight to the kitchen to cook for the Saturday program. So Didi, well done. Now your savor to get some rest. We'll hear more from you in the next Back to Basics or somewhere along the way. And you know you're always welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Dhanyavad Didi.
Dhanyavad Maharaj.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Guru Maharaj. And Dana has joined us. And Dana, we're looking for when you can join us also in person. And now this festival is kind of come to an end. And today our hosts, plural, which is Paramananda Prabhu and his wife, Krishna Priya, they also now have some duty to do. And so they're going to Bangkok. So we're going to have a quiet temple. But the programs go on, just like in Navadip. When there's a festival, so many people come. But when the festival ends, still the morning program, evening program, and the daytime savor continues. And we could ask to Leela Shakti Didi. I was thinking in fact, I wanted to send a little video for the Brazilian Zoom yesterday, like 12, 13 hours ago. But we really had a full program running yesterday, and I told Paramananda, I want to send that, but we kind of had a full program. But I thought that Leela Shakti, she can share with us today. So I'll give you a moment to think about it. If it's suitable for you, you can share with us what it is like, my first experience to live in an ashram for 2 weeks. You lived in an ashram for 2 weeks and you survived. So I'll give you a second or two, a few moments to consider the subject matter. And if you're available to talk on that subject matter, we'd all be happy to hear your fresh experiences. Because we've lived, I remember my first 2 weeks in living in an ashram, it wasn't the easiest weeks of my life for sure. It was quite difficult to adjust to everything, because there are so many aspects of our subtle freedom that we don't even realize now how much we like our subtle freedom. Oh, we can just go out, go to the shop, do whatever we want. That kind of thing is all very much more limited in the ashram. And so even that kind of subtle freedom is not taken away. We're voluntarily giving it up when we come to the ashram. So Leela Shakti Didi, I see you put some message in the chat box. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm with Bella. That's her little daughter, putting her to bed. Okay, well, we'll wait in anticipation. I would ask the same question to Jai Gauranga Prabhu from Australia, but it's not his first 2 weeks in an ashram, because he lives in Govinda Dham. And that not only, I mean, Liz, yes, Liz, why not Liz? She's a resident of Govinda Dham and a full-time servitor. So it wasn't his first 2 weeks in the ashram. But Jai Gauranga Prabhu, you can say, what was different between your life in the temple in Australia, which is called Govinda Dham, and your 2 weeks in Govinda Farm? And I know you're available because I can see you.
Yes, very much available, Maharaj. My Dandavats, Maharaj, Dandavats, the devotees. It was quite amazing, really, to be able to come from the Dham here to the farm, Sri Govinda Farm, from Sri Govinda Farm to Sri Govinda Dham. Sorry, from Sri Govinda Dham to Sri Govinda Farm. Being able to be around all the devotees there, and so much affection. The devotees they're interacting with so much affection and so much genuine concern for your well-being, and wanting to help and assist and serve alongside you, which was really, really nice. As far as the difference from the Dham, having the programs was definitely a very, very, very nourishing, very good thing. Being able to participate every day in the programs, and to be with different devotees was, and to meet new people and to meet new members of the family that I haven't met before was really special. And to be able to spend time with Maharaj and with Śrīla Swāmī Maharaj, that was very, very nourishing. Very, and I feel a lot more energy and a lot more kind of. I feel a lot more nourished now coming back to the Dham and for my service, and be able to participate. And
so tell us one thing. Tell us one thing you learned while here. I didn't learn anything.
So many things. Don't wear shoes in a river. Don't wear running shoes in a river.
Don't wear running shoes in a river. Well, there's a very devotional and practical thing you learned.
if you go on a hike, don't take your shoes off before you go on a river. Don't just walk through. That's
Hare Krishna. It was a devotional hike, dear devotees. We were with how many devotees? Hey, we were 18 or 22 or something. We were quite a lot of devotees, and we went on a jungle hike together. But we had to cross a river which was snaking, like winding down through the valley, through the mountain. We had to cross that river maybe 14 or 16 times. It wasn't 8 or 10. It was more, I lost count. It's maybe even 20 times we had to cross this river. And of course, without a bridge. And it has been raining, so anyway. But we were trying to remember Krishna, and all the time for the whole festival, only to talk Krishna Katha, not to talk any other worldly things. And so it was a very happy walk. And Paramanandhu very considerately arranged that the two or three trucks took us up, and we're all devotees all sitting in the back, just Indian style, Thai style, sitting in the back of the open back truck. Yes. So they took us to the top of the trail, and then we walked down, but still down and up, down and up, down and up. And Jai Gauranga Prabhu survived. Leela Shakti Didi survived. In fact, all 18 or 20, however many we were, we all survived.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. What else did you learn devotionally? Did you learn anything on that trail? Oh dear.
Well, something that Śrīla Didi said in one of the Q&As was like that the environment is it was interesting because I mean we've all heard Srila Guru Maharaj say that the environment's friendly, we need to see the good in the environment, but the way she put it in a very interesting way, that the environment is divine, and it's only coming to help us. It's not, there's no, and it just us. There's no like malice or ill intent in the environment. It's just it's and that that I need to internally try to adjust myself. The way she put it was really profound, really amazing. And I hadn't heard it described like that before. That was quite special.
Jai. Hare Krishna. So the world goes on, and with Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, then we've been very Srila Prabhupada focused. And I can say that the day before yesterday, the day before Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, then in the evening, Abhinavasundar, also from Australia, Abhinavasundar Prabhu, he was reading from Revealed Truth, which is by Srila Bhaktisundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev. He was reading from Revealed Truth. And I was listening, and actually when I asked him to read, and we're still several devotees here, I said, your first job is to transmit. Your second duty is to read, because it's not just reading. We don't want just a reading. We want some transmission. We want to hear and gain something from the reading. So anyway, he's reading. And then after a little while, then I'm hearing, then it sounded like Srila Prabhupada, like he's reading a purport or something written by Srila Prabhupada. And then I had to then remind myself, oh, what are we reading? What am I hearing? And it was Srila Gurudev talking. It was read by Abhinavasundar Prabhu. But then it kind of struck me that Srila Gurudev, he does say many things very similar to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says many things very similar to Srila Gurudev when we read what they're saying, when we read the purport of Srila Prabhupada, etc. And then I was reminded of Devashish Prabhu when we were in the Vyasa Puja of Srila Guru Maharaj recently, and Devashishu, he said, oh, I'm happy I get to speak before Madhusudan because whenever I'm asked to speak after him, I prepare some thought to say, but Madhusudan says what I'm going to say already. He said all that. And then I'm thinking, oh, now what am I going to say? Because he said all those things. And then Devashishu, he said, and it's not surprising because we're both from the same master. And I also have had that experience. And in California, not this year, but before the COVID, then Devashishu was giving a class and I was just listening from the back, trying to be invisible, so not intruding anywhere. I was listening from the back and I approached and I listening and I thought, this is my class he's giving, but he's giving my class, but all credit, but Devashish was giving my class with more quotations or with the quotations because he knows lots of slokas, Devashishu. So really, he made the point that we're both of the same master. So it's not surprising that he's saying something similar. I'm saying something similar to him. He's saying something similar to me. And then when I was listening to what was actually Srila Gurudev speaking, and then I, for a little while, I'm thinking, oh, this is Srila Prabhupada. Then it also reminded me of that. Yes, it's not a surprise because the reality is Srila Gurudev's Guru is Srila Guru Maharaj. And Srila Prabhupada's Guru, in all practical terms, for his everything, his preparation, everything, was Srila Guru Maharaj. So Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, they both have the same Guru. And this way, another like reinforcement in our hearts of how we've got this wonderful trio, these three pillars, which are here to give us our like full-fledged Krishna consciousness. And it doesn't get better than this. How can we think it'll get better than this? And so not to think, oh, we've joined too late. Whenever we join, if we join right now, if somebody is not a devotee and they join tomorrow, then they've got the opportunity to enter within the mature Krishna consciousness. And just have to pray that we may remain and be with those who've captured that from the message of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Gurudev. And there was another, because we've been a little Srila Prabhupada conscious with yesterday and with a beautiful talk. I think you all may have already heard, but yesterday from Gupta Govardhan, we first gave opportunity for Śrīla. We had three devotees, three disciples of Srila Prabhupada with us. And Śrīla, she spoke very substantially and beautifully. Kum Devidasi, she spoke very substantially and beautifully. And of course, we can say, of course, for all of them, but Srila Goswami Maharaj also gave a very fresh lecture about Srila Prabhupada. And of course, speaking substantially and beautifully. So yesterday was very Srila Prabhupada conscious, and then we came back, we're doing our program, watching the videos of Srila Prabhupada, and some discussion. And Śrīla, she was saying about another interview, an interview of a reporter outside the Matchless Gifts storefront in New York, in that area of New York. And so outside there, they're interviewing a devotee, and they're saying, the interviewer is asking about, what is this Krishna consciousness? And that devotee, he's telling, oh, this Krishna consciousness is nourishing the soul. We are eternal. We're not the body, and we have our home in Goloka Vrindavan. And like he's giving a very enthusiastic description. You've got shaved head, shikha, all these things like this. And then the interviewer, is saying, okay, thank you very much. And how long have you been a member? How long have you been chanting Hare Krishna? Then he said, 2 weeks. And then you see how Srila Prabhupada kind of infused in everybody to tell others, okay, you've become inspired to be devotee. Now your duty is to tell others. And myself, I mean, not only myself, but we in our generation, within 2 weeks of joining the temple, we're also doing part of our seva is on the streets, distributing Back to Godhead magazine, which is essentially, telling people the message of Krishna consciousness in the best way, which is, directing them to Srila Prabhupada's words. So it was also an example that Srileka brought up about Srila Prabhupada's so enthusiastic distribution mode of Krishna consciousness. So lots of things for us to remember. And Gurudev talking about himself, he said, everybody knows I'm 100% Guru Maharaj's man, as it were. I'm Guru Maharaj's dog. But I'm also Govinda Maharaj. And in my nature, in many ways, I'm more like Srila Swāmī Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, than Guru Maharaj. Gurudev is saying like this. And we happily see that in Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, we actually really felt the presence of Guru Maharaj, of course, and the presence of Srila Prabhupada. And I think this, it is for many of us, Srila Gurudev's disappearance was very like a tragic day, because it felt like Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada all now disappeared from this world. And Gurudev was sort of holding that banner of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Govinda, Govinda. And here, I'm looking to see any Srila Prabhupada disciple, but we are all Srila Prabhupada's disciples, that he's brought the whole, in the sense that he's brought the whole world to Krishna consciousness. So we all must have our head at his lotus feet. Also in yesterday's video, Srila Prabhupada, it was in Melbourne. I don't know the title of it. I didn't select it. It was selected by Manasa Krishna Prabhu, those of you who were here who know Manasa Krishna. And he's Australian. So I suppose that's why we had Srila Gurudev in Australia, in Melbourne. Srila Prabhupada in Australia, in Melbourne, that video. And Srila Prabhupada, we did mention, for instance, in the interview, it's clear his figure was quite short in comparison to the average height of the Westerners. It was quite short. But in Melbourne, he was on a really high Vyasasana. Very high Vyasasana. And I even commented, how did they get Srila Prabhupada up there on that Vyasasana? Very high. And, we could just see the kind of things that Srila Prabhupada accepted in service. He doesn't need that. He was not wanting anything like that, except he's accepting it in service for what he's presenting to the world. And not only that, we have proof of that, how we can say so many things like this. From his devotees, from his nature, all these things, from knowing him, from Srila Gurudev. How do we know so much about Srila Prabhupada? It's from Gurudev. But also, when Srila Prabhupada would come back to India, then for most of the time, right until the very last, maybe 2 or 3 years before he disappeared from the world, then Srila Prabhupada stayed where? In that small stone room at the Radha Damodar temple. And he may be, not only maybe, he's sitting on a grand Vyasasana, he's got hundreds of devotees around him chanting, doing the Ratha Yatra. Also in Melbourne or in Australia, they were showing footage of Ratha Yatra with Srila Prabhupada and so many devotees chanting. But coming back to India, and he's in that very humble room in the Radha Damodar temple, which is still there as it was. And that's one of our special pilgrimage places when we go to Vrindavan. And in that room, then he started his translation, did translation of Srimad Bhagavatam, other translation work there, and making Back to Godhead magazine there, going to Delhi for printing, having much difficulty with the finances of the most minimum kind of finances for back to Godhead, etc. So Srila Prabhupada accepting everything in service and doing everything for Srila Saraswati Thakur, doing everything for presenting the message of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, presenting Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. We must all have our head at his feet. And if you didn't hear yesterday's broadcast from the live broadcast from Gupta Govardhan, then please, I mean, I'm just advising, when you can, then put in the headphones or put on the loudspeaker and listen to it all the way through, because it was very, very nourishing. You see, Jai Gauranga Prabhu returned to Australia, and the most memorable thing is, or the most noticeable thing as he comes back to Australia is, I'm nourished. I'm nourished, I'm ready to go on. Well, one of those sources of nourishment is hearing from the devotees, and yesterday from Srila Swāmī Maharaj, Śrīla and Kumkum, and beautiful presentation of Srila Prabhupada. And just now I'm reminded how, I think it's St. Petersburg, but it could have been Moscow, one lady came to the temple and to surrender, like walked in the door, came to the temple and came and asked, I want to be a devotee. How can I join this mission? And then Prithu Prabhu was telling me this. Prithu is very famous. He's the affectionate, practical, looking after all the devotees in St. Petersburg. Of course, Vijay Raman, the head, but Prithu Prabhu doing everything for lodging, fooding, bedding, looking after the devotees. And he said this lady came and she just wants to surrender. She wants to be a devotee. And then talking to her, asking, well, you're coming, how do you know about us? And this, that, and the other. And she said, I read one book, this book, the Prabhupada Leelamrita. And when I read the life of this person, this Swāmī, Srila Prabhupada, when I read about his life, I know there must be something there. There must be something very valuable there, that somebody can give their life in such a way like that. And so by reading about Srila Prabhupada, she became a devotee. So we mustn't underestimate that it is the grace of the devotees who are showing us the brilliant light of devotion, that we're able to have a little glimpse of the reality of what is spiritual life. Hare Krishna. And if you haven't watched a video, of Srila Prabhupada recently, I also advise you, it's no secret, go on YouTube and, you find a whole lot of them. Some are short, some are long. And that one in Melbourne, I don't know the date exactly. I don't recall. I think they may have mentioned it yesterday. Divya Shakti re-entered. And Priyanana Devi Dasi joined us just now. And Priyanana, Dandavat, this morning, maybe 5 of us did seva for you, Priyanana Devi. Oh, what seva?
Oh my God, I'm in debt.
And well, maybe one devotee actually did it for you, and then others are taking your prasadam. And that is, you requested Keshavananda Prabhu. We heard through Indulekha, did he? You requested Keshavananda to sing Shrita Kamala, that song.
Yes, thanks you. Thanks a lot.
And so then I said, okay, Keshavan, don't start immediately. Wait, and then we'll set up the microphone, pause, begin, and at the end, everybody be quiet. Don't immediately, as devotees often do at the end, just as it ends, they say, Jai, worked out very well. Then you can't chop it off. But this, there you are. Cut the beginning, well, let everything finish off. Okay. Grita Kundara He.
Takundavahi. Oh Maharaj, sorry. It's interrupting, but it's fine.
Jaya Jaya Deva Hare.
Jaya Deva Hare.
Anyway, now we have to finish the service and remember to send it to you. So,
Yeah, that's the second most important part.
so I put the phone there, and then Tradish, Induleka, another two maybe. I think he was like surrounded by phones recording him. So maybe it's on this before I cut the beginning and end, where I said to Keshav Nanbu, no pressure, just do it perfectly. Then Keshav
And 5 phones watching.
with 5 phones watching, yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Anyway,
very much.
he did do it perfectly, and a very sweet request. And I don't know if you knew, but a request just in time, because he will leave after -1 hour 13 minutes.
Oh, he already left?
No, but he's a real Vaishnava, so he will leave after -1 hour and 14 minutes. Does that make, do you understand?
No, I'm not real Vaishnava, so I don't understand.
He should have left 1 hour 14 minutes.
Okay, got it. It's like Kavadut Maharaj style. Also.
Well, you get the qualities of those you serve, and he's been serving Avadut Maharaj over these years. Anyhow, so he's leaving today, and so it was our last opportunity actually to have him sing it and for us to record. So it was very beautiful. And by the way, Manasa Krishna was on Mridanga. Manasa Krishna's here, and he's a good Mridanga player, and he's a good singer also, as we all know.
Yeah, splendid. Thank you.
Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Any question from anybody? Divya Shakti Didi, you've opened your microphone. Tell us something.
I was just wondering, what is the quickest way to get to the Zoom meeting, the Infinity Media Zoom meeting that happened for Śrīla Prabhupada?
I thought you were going to ask, what's the quickest way to get to Goloka Vrindavan?
Same.
Same, but different. Maybe Priyananda can drop a little message in the box.
Okay.
Because actually, I think it's YouTube, which is generally the easier way of doing these things.
Because
what do you mean? Which message?
to get to the Zoom that they had at the farm yesterday for Śrīla Prabhupada. Swāmī Maharaj was doing.
Oh,
To
you
listen
mean the link.
To listen to
Okay.
yesterday's broadcast from Gupta Govardhan. To listen to the recording.
Just a second. Okay, no, fine.
Sure.
I was trying to do it, but I guess I'll just be tired.
Now, the thing is, I hear car doors slamming, and I think they're about to go. And in my pocket, okay, what's in my pocket if I'm going to go and see off the devotees?
A cell phone.
You don't know. Vrindavan Chandrabu knows. Some prasadam flowers.
Oh,
I don't have a prasadam garland, but in Navadip, and not only Navadip, it's sweet etiquette. As the devotees are going on their journey, we give either prasad garland or prasad flowers to them. So three are going, Krishna, Paramananda Prabhu, Krishna Priya Didi, and Keshavananda Prabhu. They're driving to Bangkok. It's an 8-hour drive without stopping.
wow.
Priyanana knows that route. I know that route. It's quite a long way.
Yeah. They
So
didn't-
the video, sorry to interrupt, the video is not on YouTube, but I will ask Devendra, and probably it was just on Zoom, and then like done.
yeah.
So maybe it can be uploaded later.
Mm. It's not even available right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, not really. I cannot see it on the channel.
Mm.
Mm,
And on Instagram channel, it's not there.
No, it should be. Oh, okay. I'll check live
Sorry.
stream.
Priyanana, it's on Facebook
Oh,
and the
on Facebook.
Infinity Media.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Mm. Now you know better
Okay.
because here in Russia, Facebook is a bit.
All right. Thank you.
Can you put the link, Sevarupasiri, so that and put it in the chat box, and Bibi Shakti can get it immediately?
Okay, I'll try.
Thank you.
There we are. So please, oh, Leela Moy, put it there. Very efficient. You won. Sometimes, we're all sitting there in the temple room and we're asking, what page is, Shrita Kamala on, for instance? And we're just asking, one person can look it up, but everybody's in the back of the book looking. So you've got 20 devotees all looking. And then one devotee comes up, okay, it's that page. So you've won. I'm afraid we can't give you an ice cream, but you won an ice cream. If you were here, you could say you won an ice cream today by putting it there. And in case others ask, presently, I'm going to copy that link also. Hare Krishna. And Vrindavan Chandrabu, good to have you with us, always in our thoughts. And we are praying that you can get some liberation from your current difficulties. And may the devotees combined good thoughts help your future. But wherever we are, Krishna's pushing us to remember him. So we are trying to remember him in relation to you, and please you try to remember Krishna too, because only he can help us. This unfortunate world we are in. Some part is like heaven, some part is like hell, some part is in the middle. This is on planet Earth. What to speak of at night. Oh, here, by the way, we also, those who are here, they know, here at night, you can see all this, well, maybe not all the stars, but you can see more stars than you can count in the sky. And to reminding us, yes, heavenly planets are there, hellish planets are there. And we are in the middle. All right, so dear devotees, I am going to go because not only have I heard car doors slamming, I can hear some engines running. So I'm going to take your leave, but with big remembrance of Srila Prabhupada, of the wonderful gift of Krishna consciousness that we've come to, the association that we've got with each other, with the senior devotees and the good friends on the path. And with all this appreciation that means to each of you here, I offer my humble obeisances to Jai Gurudev, Jai Guru Maharaj, Jai Śrīla Prabhupāda, and Jai to you all, and Jai to the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindubhya evacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Yes, Radha Sundari, good to see you in Mayapur. Yes? Mayapur? Yes, okay. Okay, I do need to go. I'll leave you all together, and please, you feel free to chat for as long as you like. I have a little duty to do with my flowers.
Josh, the Bhaktivedanta Madhusudana Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, time to go.
Yes. Our dandavats to all the devotees. Oh.
Dandavat.
Dandavat to Keshavananda and Paramananda and Priyananda, of course.
Thank you, dandavat.
Dhanyavad to all the devotees. See you next time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dandavat.